You finally got your buck on the ground, and now you got to figure out what to do with it. We killed this buck early this morning. He's ready to be processed in the field. We're going to cape this deer for mounting, and we're going to actually show you how to process thing without gutting it. We're going to quarter him. We've got our tarp and our game bags ready to go, and we're going to cape this guy out and get him out of the field. The short-haired buck, most taxidermists do what we call a short Y, and what you're going to do is you're going to find these two hair patterns that come together right here on the back of the head. This guy here's got a perfect one, and we're going to make our cut along that black center line, staying perfectly in the center all the way down this deer. And what we're going to do up here today in the field is we're just going to get it off the skull and get it to where we can pack it out, and then we'll do the fine tuning down at the cabin, and we'll show you that later on in the video. Right now we're caping. I'm going to go right in underneath the skin. Remember, you always want to stay underneath the skin. You don't want to come from the top and cut all the hair. So just keep your blade underneath and stay right down that center line. That skin will roll on you, so you got to make sure that you stay on that center track. You make your taxidermist a whole lot happier. Right between the center blades there. Right about there is probably, for caping purposes, about where you need to stop if you were just going to cape it. But we're going to go ahead and bone quarter this thing all out, so we're going to carry right on back. I'm going to go right to the base of the tail and stop. I'm going to come down here to the hock. Now there's a hairline right there, and I'm going to make a cut right along that hairline. And I'm going to come right up this elbow, staying in that hairline. I'm going to come right up here, and I'm going to stop. This is a short-haired deer, so we're going to end up actually tubing this leg out. Cut around the knee. This skin will not be in the mount, obviously, but start it on up. When you're cutting this, you're always just cutting that thin, clear tissue. You don't have to be in a hurry. Just take your time and work that tissue up. Keep all the meat off of the skin. Saves you a lot of work later. If you've got somebody to help you, which we do, I can hold the leg for you. Now that I've got my line all the way back here and I got my front leg loose, I'm going to do the same to the back leg that we did to the front cut. I'm going to round the back. I'm going to make it cut all the way up the back. We're not trying to save this skin, but I do want to save the cape, so I'm going to cut this deer in half right now. There's a center brisket bone right down here in the front. You can feel it with your finger. It's the end of his brisket. And we're just basically going to cut this deer right in half, which will give that taxidermist plenty of cape to work with. quartered out and laying on our tarp. Meat's nice and clean. We're going to do this side now. We've cut our deer in half. His belly's cut. You remember our incision already there. We're going to come in here from the bottom without cutting that gut. We're going to work through this meat at the joint, and then we're going to cut this ball joint off. There's a big ball joint right there. I just cut right through it. It's going to pop off. And we're just going to work along this bone. I'll get my helper in here again to grab this. You can do this without a helper, but we're just trying to keep everything clean. And you can make a cut right along that hip joint. Separate your back strap. We're going to come right in there. So when we get through that joint, she'll just come clean, and you just feel along those bones with your knife. And cutting along that pelvis bone. And she's about ready to pop loose here. Just work your knife blade along there and off you go. The guts, it's really not. It's actually laying right here. It's laying just underneath, in between the gut bag and the tenderloin and spinal column. And you can very carefully separate this tissue right here. Oops, got a little bit there, but you just reach in with your fingers and you'll feel it. Use the backbone as your guide, make a cut along there, and you can actually almost peel it out with just your fingers. Keep your hands in between the gut line and the tenderloin meat. Cut along there. And it's right there. Peel it right out. That's all there is to that. Sweet. Got the quarters and the legs off of this. We're going to take the head off, and it's getting warm on us, so we're going to kind of speed it up. But we skinned him up. We had our center incision. We're coming up right behind the ear. There's a joint where that hits the skull. We're going to cut through the meat there, and we've got him all, or we're going to finish getting him all off the throat here. And we're going to get that meat and that joint opened up. Start cutting some of this away. Take that head off. We're going to flip him over and do the same side over there. What I did is I just worked in on this joint. You can see it right here, at least I hope you can if the cameraman's got it. It's kind of a round shaped joint that goes right around the skull here. And I just get my blade in and work around that little joint, and it pops. And a lot of times you can pop it just a little bit and twist the head. I'm sure a lot of you have seen that and just twist it off. But right we're down here, you just cut through your larynx and we're done. And we'll do the fine tuning down at the cabin, but we're starting to get real warm up here, so we're basically done. That head and cape are free of this body. Just a little larynx holding on there. Cut through that, and we should be free. Make sure you don't catch that cape. That's it. Well, we kind of sped through it, but basically when you're done, this is what you should have. You should have your back quarters, your front quarters, your tenderloins, your back strap, any of the meat you pulled off the flank and back that was salvageable, and the brisket meat, try to get off as much as you can, save as much as you can. And now it's just a matter of slipping them into our game bags. I like having the tarp here, keeps everything nice and clean, no dirt, no hair. So we'll just slide them into our game bags and seal them. We'll put 2 in those bags. Stab somebody.